Everything you do is an example of God, and it should be an example of God. Have you heard the statement, and everything you do be a reflection of Jesus Christ? Or whatever you do, think of, what would Jesus do? Is the exact same thing I'm about to tell you right now. Commit all your plans to God. Commit everything you do as a reflection of God. Everything you do should be an example. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you move, it should be a reflection of Christ. And people should be able to see it in you. There is something special when somebody can outright come to you and tell you, I can see the Spirit of the Lord in you. I can see the Spirit working in you. And you barely have to have conversation with that person. But they can tell by your kindness, your loving heart, the grace and mercy you give people, the interactions you have with people, just maybe even in like a small social setting. People that can see the light in you, that's special. And you know how you can get to that point is if you commit everything you do to Christ. Psalm chapter 37 and verse 5 says, commit everything you do to the Lord. Trust him and he will help you. Commit everything you do. So every single decision you make, commit that to God. Every single worship service you attend, worship God, give your all. Regardless if you're tired or not. I know I get tired. We get weary, we get drowsy, our minds get caught, going into different directions. Life pulls us in different directions and it gets tough because it's not easy. The Christian walk is not easy. A lot of people think, yes, we can trust God and it'll make it a little easier, but life as a Christian is very difficult. But see, that's where that trust comes in. That's where our patience comes in. If we can fully commit ourselves to God, our process will be a lot easier. We constantly commit our plans to ourselves because we want to do what we want to do, right? We want to go after that job, that business. We want to grow this business, but the Lord may have a different plan, right? If we give our business to God, if we give our life to God, if we give our different circumstances to God, he will know how to execute on our behalf. But what I constantly see people have a struggle with is making decisions based on themselves and their beliefs and their feelings. Don't allow your emotions and your feelings to dictate what you do next or to do something. Don't let in the moment decisions make you feel like you should do this thing. But God already knows what he needs you to do because he has plans for you, not to hurt you, but to allow you to have a successful life. Read Jeremiah chapter 29. I believe it's verse 29:11. He already has plans for you to prosper you, not to hurt you, to give you success, to give you a life that is greater than this. I mean, heaven's up there. That's a life that all of us should be striving for. But the plans, the physical plans he has for you cannot be explained. So you have to take this next step with a grain of salt. Allow everything you do, every plan you make, everything you think about, be about God. And when you do that and you make him your main staple and allow him to be a part of that structure in your life, making decisions gets a lot easier. I'll tell you that. I know for me, whether that's going to a social event, going to parties, hanging out with certain people, it's definitely a lot easier for me to make those decisions now that I'm deeper in my faith and I'm closer to Christ. Because without that connectivity and that intimacy with Christ, it would be very difficult for me to discern whether to go to this place or to not go to this place, to do this thing or to not do this thing. But when your heart's full of God, when you walk and move with God, it makes it so much more easier to make that decision. So what am I trying to tell you? In everything you do in thought and in spirit, and everything you do in this life, choose God. Everything you do in this life, choose God. And that may sound cliche, but what it means to truly choose God is to sacrifice yourself, to sacrifice what you want, to change this up here. Tell yourself, I want whatever God wants for me because I know God knows what's best for me. But when you're constantly choosing yourself, you will never choose God. You only choose what your flesh desires. So I'm going to leave you with this note. If you want to truly, truly get closer to God, you have to give everything, give your whole life to God. You have to commit your plans, your moves, your friends, your environment, your family members, yourself specifically to God. But see, that's a decision you have to make for yourself. You cannot allow anybody else in this world to make a decision for you like that. Don't allow it. You will be stuck. You will not know how to feel. Not do that. Commit your plans to God because He's not going to steer you wrong. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. Self-improvement, Christianity. We seek growth on this channel. That's what this life is about. Growth in all aspects of life. But the main one is God. The most important and only one is God. Because when you're strong in the Lord, nothing can touch you. Join the Discord, link in the description. But as always, stay blessed.